back to the Lifting with Lauren podcast. Today is Friday instead of Thursday. I was trying to do Tuesdays and Thursdays, but I'm afraid if I set that in stone, then I will overstress myself and I won't want to do this anymore. So today's going to actually be a short podcast. You can see I'm actually at home and it's still a karate training day, so just kind of going through some basic stuff. We did have our we had live training last night for our students. And I had to train most of the time, so I'm a little sore today. I have a bone spur thing in my foot, so it bothers me sometimes, and it's bothering me today. So not too much training. I got my dog here. Anyway, today I actually just wanted to, I use this podcast sort of as a way to get out information, but also as a way to organize my thoughts and rant and whatever. So today I actually wanted to talk about integrity. So if you want to be preached to, stay and listen. So I want to talk about integrity as a business for the most part. So I've been doing personal training, been in the fitness industry and whatnot since since 2013. And obviously when you first start out in any industry, you have to learn the ropes. You have to spend time learning how to connect with people, how to get good at what it is that you're doing at your service, how to provide it efficiently. You have to learn how to make mistakes. Sometimes you learn that it's not all a cookie cutter thing, and everything that you learn in college does not apply, and only some of those things do, and you have to learn how to innovate and come up with ideas on your own, or look at other leaders and come up with those ideas. So the first few years of personal training was very much that, was learning to watch other people and glean ideas from those people. I have, this is going to sound kind of arrogant, I've always been fairly decent at whatever I invest my time in. I say fairly decent. I usually excel at things. So I was valedictorian of my graduating class. I got straight A's all through school just because I wanted to. If I tried a sport, I did not try to attack her. Did you guys see that? She just reacted that way. I did not attack her. I usually excelled in certain sports, even if I wasn't I wasn't high level athlete, but I did pretty well. So I was used to actually being pretty good at stuff. So to start in an industry and to be a beginner and to not be very good at it, that was a hard pill to swallow. And it took me a long time to realize that I actually wasn't good at personal training yet, because that comes with the territory. That's part of starting a new industry, is you actually kind of suck. And sometimes people can see that, but they're nice enough to give you a chance to actually work with you. So I started off, and while I was in the middle of going through that, what would that be? 1/5 life crisis. I was about 20 years old. When I was in the middle of going through that crisis, I was busy watching other people succeed. And it wasn't just anybody. I was watching local businesses. I say businesses. There was a local business that actually opened up the same time that I started personal training. So I started personal training by throwing weights in the back of my Toyota Camry and driving 5 minutes over to a client's house and taking them out of my car and training her for next to nothing, and then loading them back up into my car and then driving all the way back home. So that was my first personal training experience. But after that, I got the only personal training job in this whole half of our county. We live in a very rural area, and so I worked at a local gym franchise. But at the same time that I started working there, a locally owned, I think it was actually a franchise, a group fitness place opened up. Wasn't a CrossFit place. It was this group fitness kind of thing. And that's really good for people who like group fitness. This is another thing I had to learn to come to terms with. I'm not for everyone. So I did eventually learn that, but in the meantime, it was a hard pill to swallow. Sorry, I'm just moving a thing here. So while I was still learning that, I really struggled with the fact that there seemed to be more and more people coming out of that group fitness place that were getting injured. And that bothers me so bad, because injury is a huge deal. So the last podcast I did, I talked about pain when it comes to lifting. pain in general can totally screw up your mind. So even if you're not a lifter, even if you're not an athlete, if you're somebody just trying to get into fitness, especially when you already have so many barriers to getting into whatever it is, this healthy lifestyle, when you're having to now deal with pain that was actually caused by your activity, that is a huge no-no. And your job as a coach, as a personal trainer, as a strength and conditioning coach, whatever, is to guide people enough so that kind of thing doesn't happen. Now, I realize now that when you run a big facility and you have a lot of people, it can be difficult to keep up with everyone and to make sure that everyone is being safe. But you open a group fitness facility knowing that. I run a karate school. We run about 60 members, which is pretty good for a small area. So our biggest class could have 15 to 20 students. My job as a teacher is to demonstrate properly, watch everyone, give feedback, and make corrections to everyone as we are going through class so that no one gets injured. Granted, some of them are kids and they're less likely to be injured, but that's still my job. My job is to make sure that they understand how to do certain movements correctly so that doesn't happen. Getting messages here. Go away! Stop it! So that's kind of how I've developed, as I know how to be able to deliver that message to a large group of people. So if you open a group fitness facility, you should be able to do that. There were people who left that facility who, I heard a story about a guy that jumped on a stack of tires and fell off and broke both wrists. I actually got this directly from a lady. She came to me for some nutrition coaching, and she said that she had done some kind of exercise there, fallen or whatever, had injured her back, had to have back surgery, and she was permanently in back pain. She was a nail tech, and she was going to have to deal with this back pain for the rest of her life because of this fitness facility. And these were not the only two people. There were multiple people. Major knee injuries, twisting, ACL tears, crazy stuff. And it made me so angry. And another thing is that the guy that was running it wasn't, as far as I know, wasn't certified. He didn't have any kind of educational background. And there's some debate as to whether or not certifications are worth their money. But you should have some kind of education if you're going to be working with a large group of people. So that was back when I was first starting. I was already frustrated with myself. I was going to project that on other people anyway. But then to see things like that really bothered me. So way back then, so one thing I had to do, which is kind of funny, I would get so mad that I had to learn to actually physically separate myself from actually seeing the place. So I changed my route to work so that I would not drive past this facility on my way to work, because I didn't want to have to think about it. I didn't want to go into work first thing in the morning and see this other facility and know what was going on there. So yeah, I would kind of take not really a long way, but just a different route to work so that I wouldn't see it. So even back then, I started to learn how important it is to have integrity, which seems like a given, but it's not. So I learned that very early. So I have always run every business encounter, every whatever, I have run it off of Proverbs 27:10 says, he who walks with integrity walks securely, but he who perverts his ways will become known. He became known. The guy did a lot of other things that didn't have integrity, and that's just kind of going to be indicative of a person. If they're going to run their business like that, they're probably going to run their personal life like that too. So it wouldn't have done me any good to speak ill of his business, because I really didn't. I didn't go out of my way to speak ill of him. I just internalized it for a long time. He ended up ruining his own business. So his business ended up shutting down, which was unfortunate for a lot of the people who really enjoyed the atmosphere that he brought, because he did have a lot of really good qualities. But it taught me the value of being the same person in front of people and behind closed doors, but then also making sure that I was bringing the best quality service to people and making sure that they were safe. So integrity has been a huge part of my business. I'm not saying that to my own horn. I just value it. Sometimes that leads me to the point where I don't have as much business because I don't put myself out there as much. And sometimes it makes me a little uncertain with how well I'm doing, or well, not how well, but it makes me a little uncertain with how I'm going to come across people, because I don't want to come across as spammy or scammy, like I just want your money. I'm very careful about that. So that's things that I have to deal with. But that idea has followed me for a long time. So another little rant for some recent stuff. So with the coronavirus thing, I know that people have mixed opinions on it, and I can be accepting of that. Whenever I first heard about it, to be honest with you, I didn't think we were going to close our business. I didn't think we were going to have to. I just thought that it was going to probably come to the area, but I didn't realize like how quickly it spreads and how much it would overwhelm the healthcare system and how that was going to hit home. It just didn't occur to me. I didn't think it was going to be a big deal. So I actually sent out an email like mid-March, and I told the parents, I was like, at this point, we don't anticipate having to close. I said, but if we have to, we're going to go over into like live stream classes. And that was parents of my karate students. And then most of my in-person clients are already hybrid clients. So they train in person at least once a week, and then they have homework out, so they train on their own. So they actually do partially online, partially in person. So transitioning them over was actually pretty easy. But the karate students, it was going to be a whole new world. So I didn't anticipate having to move them over. Within 1 week later, I had to send out an email to everyone that said, we're closed. Because within that week, everything changed. The number of cases went way up. And the governor said on that Friday, every dentist office, every fitness facility has to shut down. And I'm going to be honest, I knew we were going to have to. I wasn't sure when to announce it. But actually the fitness facility that I used to work for took charge, and they shut down immediately. And I know that it probably ticked off a lot of members, but to be honest with you, people get so sick from going to gyms, and they spread so many germs, that I was actually grateful to see that they had done that. So the next day we announced that we were closed as well on social media. That night I had sent out an email to everyone saying that we were closed. Sorry, I got a thing here. I'm sorry, I only speak English. I think what bothers me really bad is to see facilities that should have been shut down that aren't shut down. Another example, there is another local fitness place, different place, run by different people, and they didn't shut down. And as far as I know, they're still not shut down. We'll walk out of having run live stream classes, struggling with bandwidth, struggling with getting our students to be able to pay attention, trying to make this work, and knowing that in the long run, it's going to be what's best because they have to be safe. We'll walk outside, look over, there's another fitness facility within eye distance of us. They've got 10, 15 people just working out, doing whatever. And I'm just like, you know what? You don't give a crap about anybody but yourself. This is kind of harsh, but it's been really frustrating to continue to try to pivot my entire business and to try to make sure that my people are taken care of, and to watch someone else in the same field as me not do the same thing. My husband and I have talked about it a lot, and he said, look, don't be catty. Don't take it on yourself. It's not a reflection of you. Those people are probably never going to want to work with you because they just want different things. So I already accepted that a long time ago. It bothers me that the owner of the facility isn't providing a safe environment for those people. And by safe, I mean closed. I feel like they're kind of capitalizing on these people's vulnerability because they have nothing else to do. So why not come and work out, and we'll supposedly maintain 6 feet of distance between ourselves. Complete lack of integrity. There's no excuse for it. None at all. And I can try to empathize with this person and say, you know, I get it that you want to make money. I get it that some people don't agree that we should close down. I get that some people think that it's very, very un-American for us to have to change what we're doing. But in the end, it doesn't really matter because other people's lives are at risk. That's the way that I look at it. So, yeah, I have a really hard time with that. So every time I encounter a situation like that where somebody else is doing something that I don't think is right, I have to go back to, okay, what is my business founded on? Number one pillar for my business is integrity. So if they are not being able to show that they have integrity as a business, I believe eventually that's going to be outed. Eventually, people will see. Unfortunately, someone could get sick from continuing to go there. or any other thing could happen. Doesn't really matter. It's not really my business, but I just know that we took the best steps that we could for our business, and we're still trying to provide a good quality service to our students and clients during this time, and we're trying to maintain our integrity in the process. If other people choose not to do that, it's not a reflection of me. And if you're in an industry, any industry, or you're involved in something where that is the case, my encouragement to you, maybe this can turn around being an encouragement thing, my encouragement to you would be to don't let their actions bother you. Try instead to focus on what you can do to have as much integrity as possible, even if at the time it feels like it's putting you behind. I could have stayed open and gotten more clients out of it. The local gyms are closed. People don't have anything to do. I could have attracted more people, but I chose not to because I value their safety over my income. So if I can do that now, people will usually see that. And in the long run, this is actually working out great for us because we have more time to reflect and work on things in our business. So if you are in a situation like that, my encouragement to you is keep fighting the good fight. Keep having integrity and keep doing the right thing, even if people aren't going to, even if other people aren't going to, because it's not really a matter of that, like, everyone needs to do everything perfect. I think that if you can do the right thing, then in the long run, your business is going to last the longest, or your position is going to last the longest, or you will be the one with a better job position. Maybe not in your company, maybe you'll get fired, who knows. But I feel that if you always strive to do the best that you can do, to be the most integrity-filled that you can be, then in the end, it's going to work out for the best for you. If for no other reason, then you just feel better about yourself. So there you go. There's my preachy rant for your Friday morning. Just make sure that there's no comments here. Okay, guys. Well, hopefully that was somewhat helpful. Remember, you can message me or whatever if you have any specific requests for topics. I know that Charlotte, requested low-calorie option ideas. I think it would be better for me to do posts on that because I don't want to have to sit here and read a cookbook. But if you have any other ideas, you're welcome to message them to me, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!